big cat. Welcome to my therapy. This ain't your ordinary world, it's extraordinary. See, I'm a high priestess light walker here to guide your way through the waves of life. We'll find a new path to embrace. Tarot, astrology, numerology in our hands. No weapon formed against you shall ever stand. We're winners, we never quit, we always keep on going. Quitters never win, but we're always growing. Hey there, big cat, let's chase the highest vibration. Together we'll create a new world, a brand new nation.
Namaste! Grand Rising Big Cat Fire Signs. Welcome or welcome back to Big Cat Astrology, Big Cat Wave, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The planetary hot topics to add to your almanac over the next 7 days. On the 8th of December, the moon in Pisces sextiles Uranus in Taurus. The moon in Pisces brings emotional depth, whilst Uranus in Taurus triggers bold yet grounded actions. Fire signs may feel inspired to break free from emotional patterns that have been holding them back. Expect sudden insight that challenges your usual approach to relationships or finances. The fixed star Al-Geneb sparks transformation, urging you to embrace the unknown boldly. A surprise encounter could challenge your beliefs, forcing a powerful emotional breakthrough. On the 9th, the moon enters Aries. The moon in Aries ignites passion and confidence, empowering fire signs to take charge. This is a perfect day to start a bold new project or confront lingering issues. Expect heightened energy that propels you into action, but beware of impulsive decisions. The fixed star Antares amplifies your courage, demanding you fight for what truly matters. An unexpected challenge forces you to rise to the occasion, proving your strengths. On the 10th, the moon in Aries trines the sun in Sagittarius. This fiery trine lights a spark under your ambition, fueling creativity and leadership. Fire signs will feel unstoppable, ready to take bold risks and inspire others. Expect opportunities to shine in social or professional circles. The fixed star Betelgeuse enhances your charisma, ensuring your actions are all recognized. A spontaneous decision could thrust you into the spotlight, changing how others perceive you. On the 11th, the moon in Taurus squares Mars in Leo. The moon in Taurus seeks stability, but Mars in Leo demands bold action, creating tension. Fire signs may feel torn between security and the desire to push the boundaries. Expect challenges in balancing your ambitions with practical concerns. The fixed star Capella offers clarity, helping you find the right balance. A surprise encounter forces you to rethink your approach, leading to a powerful alignment. On the 12th, Venus in Aquarius in opposition to Mars in Leo. Venus in Leo is dignified, fueling passion, whilst Venus in Aquarius seeks freedom, creating tension. Fire signs may experience intense romantic or professional conflicts as egos clash. Expect heated conversations that reveal hidden emotions or desires. The fixed star Deneb Al-Gedi urges integrity, guiding you to handle conflicts honorably. A dramatic confrontation could reignite a flame or end a chapter with a decisive twist. On the 13th, Mercury in Sagittarius sextiles Venus in Aquarius. Mercury in Sagittarius broadens perspectives, while Venus in Aquarius fosters unconventional charm. Fire signs may find themselves drawn to new ideas or people who challenge their worldview. Expect exciting conversations or collaborations that inspire creative breakthroughs. The fixed star Altair brings courage, urging you to explore bold new opportunities. A chance encounter could open a door you never expected, setting the stage for a thrilling adventure. On the 14th, the moon in Gemini is conjunct to Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter in Gemini enhances intellectual curiosity, inspiring fire signs to think big. This is a day of vibrant energy where ideas flow effortlessly, sparking new opportunities. Expect unexpected news or connections that align with your goals. The fixed star Alhina sharpens your communication, ensuring your voice carries impact. A conversation or message could reveal an opportunity that feels too good to be true, but it isn't. Until we meet again on these astrological streets, Big Cat Wave. Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat Fire Signs. Welcome or welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for messages for your next 7 days. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Big Cat Wave. Let's dive right in and unpack. Oh, you have the energy of an 8, darling dears. This is fabulous, gorgeous and lovely. And you have an 8 on top. Good golly, and the gosh, darling dears. And the gosh. You have a 6 at the back. And an 8 on the side. So you've got the triple 8, darling dears. This is a major blessing for you. It's about all of the challenges that you faced up until this point, darling dears. Okay, you've had gains, but you've also had losses. Okay, but the 8 is also representative of the 8th house, darling dears. It's Pluto energy, Scorpio energy. The 8th house is about death and rebirth, darling dears. The rise of you. Okay. So the rise of you. So okay, this reading is going to be about blazing truths and dangerous lies. The 8th house, darling dears. This is what we're working with. Okay, it's about you continuing to believe in yourself, the triple 8, darling dears, and don't take on more than you can actually handle. Why? Prosperity is yours to create, darling dears. The 8, the energy of the 8. Let's talk about this first before we get into that. The energy of the 6, darling dears. The 6 speaks about doctor's visits, whether somebody wants you to accompany them or you're going on your own. All kinds of doctors, hospitals, medical centers, wanting some form of assistance, or this is you strengthening yourself to carry it off alone. Okay, anything to do with therapy, darling dears, some kind of water therapy, or you're actually swimming in the sea. If you can do that, because you can't do that in the UK, you really can't. Not at this stage of the game, darling dears. The energy of the 2, according to the dice, it's about it being a lucky time for you. You're going to be getting some form of good news, compliments, gifts. It's also a time for any kind of travel, darling dears. Travel will go extremely well for you over the next 7 days. It's about you broadening your horizons. For some of you, you're going to be in for a win, darling dear. Some kind of money coming towards you. And again, the energy of the 8, the 8th house. It could be things from taxes, insurances, compensation, legacies, that sort of thing, darling dears. The 8th house is also the house of joint finances. You could have gone into coupledom, darling dears. It's about the sharing of these finances, or it could also represent alimony if there's been a breakdown. It is what it is. Okay. The energy of the 8 itself, darling dears, as I said, it's the 8th house, Pluto, Scorpio energy, darling dear. So the death and rebirth of you. It also speaks about letting go. The 8th house is also the house of legacies, darling dear. So it could be something that's being willed to you. Okay. If you're looking to get a bank loan, anything to do with banking will go extremely fabulous, gorgeous and lovely for you over the next 7 days. The 8th house is also about your psychic awakening, darling dears, being aware of your gifts and utilizing them to your best advantage. Okay. The 8th house could also speak about dating as well. Dating in the 8th house is like, yes, it's the marriage house, but if you're not married, it's the lustful house. For true love, you'll find that in the 5th house. This is my take as a Western astrologer. Western tropical astrologer, don't you know? Pinkies up. Okay. All right. You could be a life path 8, darling dears, or the number 8 will be prevalent in your life. 8, 17 and 26, as well as your lucky numbers 2, 4 and 8. The number 8 itself is ruled by Saturn. Saturn coming through with the rules, the regulations, the limitations and the rewards. Remember, Saturn is the planet of karma. The energy of the 8 rules the letters H, Q and Z. The energy of Saturn rules the letters P and F. It's about your responsibilities, darling dears. Have you been paying attention? Because you are moving as only a CEO, someone who is a true strategist, darling dears. Someone who is in charge of everything. I'm telling you, you're on point, especially with your fire energy, going within, gathering that strength. Okay. Your luckiest days will be Friday, Saturday and Sunday. It's about your inner fortitude, darling dears. As I said, your inner strength. This is what has seen you through many a struggle, darling dears. But it's about you overcoming these struggles. What did you do? Remember, fall down 7 times, get up 8, darling dears. And as Les Brown says, make sure that when you fall on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. Push, clap. All right, let's carry on. Let's carry on. The energy of the 8 is also about honor. It's about your wisdom, darling dears. You utilizing it in a wise way. This is you building the structure. It also speaks about, as I said, the discipline that you had to adhere to in order to get where you were. Okay, Saturn takes 2.5 years for it to go from one zodiac sign to another, darling dears. So therefore, this could have been in the making and you've reached the culmination. Okay. All right. The energy of the 8, darling dears, according to the low shoe grid, it's about wisdom, it's about self-knowledge, and it's also about rest. Somebody's going to be taking some kind of a rest. If it's a rest for a holiday, make sure that you don't travel during Mercury retrograde. Okay. All right, because I traveled during Mercury retrograde and it wasn't fabulous, gorgeous or lovely. Trust and believe. I had to make a whole video on it. Anyway, I digress. The energy of the 8, according to the 48 laws of power, it's about making people come to you, things come to you, darling dears. Because if you've been paying attention to the energies, it was about you setting the chessboard. Okay. All right. The energy of the 8 itself, representative on the major arcana, is the strength card, big cat Leo energy. And then we go into the 5th house, darling dears. I was just telling you the difference between the two. The 5th house speaks about romance, it speaks about dating, it speaks about you being the uniquely you that you are and utilizing those gifts, those talents in a creative way. Okay. It's also about the pursuit of pleasure. You will be pursuing pleasure over the next 7 days, darling dears. Some will be pursuing love affairs, dating, romance, but there's also drama.com in the 5th house. But I say that to say this, there's drama, but the 5th house is a very lucky house. That and the 11th house, darling dears. Remember, I told you that. You're definitely going to be looking at your past experiences, darling dears. Why? Because you are relieving some karma. You have the energy of the 8 3 times, darling dears. If this ain't your green for go, I don't know what is. All right. Let's see what's on the middle. We've got a 1 and a 5, darling dears. The energy of the 6th house. Somebody's definitely going to be getting some kind of a checkup. The energy of Saturn, darling dears. It rules your ears, your knees, your teeth, your skin and your bones. Somewhere in that area will need a checkup, or somebody wants you to accompany them. Okay. Okay, Saturn comes through as a cardinal sign, darling dears, because it rules Capricorn, okay, but it also rules Aquarius. So it's telling you that you are going to be initiating things over the next 7 days, darling dears. But it's also a reminder to tackle things slowly, head on, okay? The energy of the fixed sign is also telling you to remember to be persistent, darling dears. Be persistent as well as what? Be organized. Remember, Big Cat always has a plan, darling dears. There's always a plan. All answers come from within. And if you get stuck, hit me up in the Gmail for a chart reading or a tarot reading, darling dears. Okay, let's press on. Let's press on. So the energy that I was getting for this read was that some truths are going to be revealed, darling dears. Okay, which is going to be extremely dangerous for some. So that's what we're going to be reading up on. But let's get your oracle ancestral message. I'm going to use a deck that I haven't used in a while. I'll use this one. It jumps right up and fell back into the pile. This is a call to action, darling dears. Fire energy, you are being called to the table. Excusez-moi, not fire. This is root chakra energy. Excusez-moi, civil play. Right? This is about your stability, your security, darling dears. Feeling more motivated, more disciplined. And guess what? Root chakra is what? That's right, bestie. Saturn energy. Remember, I told you that. Play the frequency of 396 at nighttime, darling dears. Okay, for healing of your root chakra. It's about you manifesting at this moment in time, and you're having more of a sense of belonging to whatever you choose to belong to, darling dears. You're a fire sign. You lead with your third eye, darling dears. Your intuitions and your grounding. Yes, be a big grounding, darling dears. You're grounding. So definitely action for you over the next 7 days. On the base of the deck, yeah, sacral chakra, darling dears. So it's about your feelings, your emotions. It also speaks about your relationships. This is the 417 on the frequencies. If you want to play a video on YouTube of the 396 and the 417 at nighttime, darling dears. Yes, baby. We can always do with more healing. The energy of the chakra also speaks about your self-worth, darling dears. So maybe these blazing lies are being told on you. We shall see. We shall see. Let's get one of the black cards before we press on at a hot trot. Oh, it fell right out. We've got Emperor energy, darling dears. Mars and Aries energy. First house, this is about leadership roles, could be stepping into it. It's about you creating new initiatives. This is a fresh start for you, darling dears. Many of you will be casting your mind back to your early environment. Okay, it's about you standing up in a relationship or relationships, people that you once saw as family or actual family. Okay, you have to stand up. It's also be careful, because Aries Mars energy, be careful of accidents or people with issues with their health, especially your maternal grandmother, a maternal grandmother or a paternal grandfather, maternal or paternal, or whatever, your grandparents. Look out for illnesses or accidents and issues to do with their health. Maybe they're the ones that need to be accompanied. When we see the Emperor energy, it also speaks about you being the commander, darling dears. From the foot soldier to the commandante. For some, this is stepping into entrepreneurialism. If you are a father, it means you're a good father. The Emperor energy is fluid because of the tarot, darling dears. It could represent you as the mother. You are stable, darling dears. A good advisor, a good head of your family. Split the deck. What do I say, darling dear? Scandal is afoot. So what's going on? Someone's not liking your blazing truth, or they're trying to blaze out some truth on you, right? Guilt, shame and regret. They'll be sucking their thumb in the corner before the night's out, darling dears. How dare they? They dare. Why? Because they're bold. Base of the deck, we've got the 11th house. Did we not just call the 11th house an extremely lucky house? The 11th house also tells me that it could be an older sibling, or someone that's adopted into your family or seems like family. It's also about groups, darling dears. There could be a scandal for you within some kind of a group over the next 7 days, darling dears. But you are the boss. You'll be able to do the damage control, darling dears. You will be able to handle this situation. Emperor energy is somebody who's in their authority, darling dears. Okay. This is about you, how can I put it? Put it this way, you're going to be called to step up and be in a leadership role, darling dears, or be to protecting whatever it is that you're building for yourself. The 11th house is also about monies that are what? Being paid to you. It could be from an employer. Yeah. Look, they're mouth breathers, darling dears. They're mouth breathers. Yes. Just like, what's his name? What's that man's name? That prisoner? Yeah, Diddy. He's a mouth breather as well. All right, let's press on. Let's press on. So there's a lot of guilt and shame here, a scandal coming out. But whoever is going to unleash this, darling dears, 11th house, an older sibling, okay? It could also represent a group that you belong to, somewhere where you had a membership, darling dears. It could also speak about within your employment circles, darling dears, but something is definitely going to come out on top. But you have the energy of the 8, darling dears. You've got it 3 times. This is leading towards, if you have to come and get on top of this, darling dears, it's like you're going to have to sue. You're going to have to. Or create some kind of compensation claim, some kind of settlement. Something's going to have to be done. All right. Let's give it a good shifty. So what's this blazing truth? It's going to come out for the big cat fire signs over the next. Oh, so right onto my lap. Yeah, somebody who's extremely manipulative, darling dears. Okay. Yeah, someone who's trying to take advantage of a situation, the hangman. Okay. Yeah, this is you with your money, darling dears. Your skrilla, minding your own business. Emperor and Empress energy. You have a fated meeting on the table. This person is going to be on a knife's edge, darling dears. They're going to be proper worried about what they tried to burst out on you. They should have known better, darling dears, but this person likes to mix and blend the pot. If it's a working situation, this person was looking for you to lose your job or some form of demotion within your job over the next 7 days. Good golly. And the gosh, darling dears. And the gosh. It could also represent you, darling dears. This is the energy of a bad past relationship, darling dears, with a full-on narc, sociopath, one of them complex B personalities, darling dears. Manipulative to the core, darling dears. This is someone that you may have had to call the police on. Maybe they didn't go to prison, but they sure as she's naive went to jail. To jail? Okay. This person is going to have to pay some money to you, so there's some form of alimony payment on the table as well. Yeah. Okay. So what lies are they telling on you? Everything fell out. They definitely telling them their lies, darling dears, but it's not going to stick, whatever they're saying. Look, this is the untruths, darling dears. This is the people that come with the cloudy half-truths, darling dears. Yeah, wish fulfillment. You're still going to get your wish fulfillment, darling dears. You're still going to have options to go towards, and you're going to be extremely successful, darling dears. But beware, someone's going to try and come through and uncover something, a lie, or embellish a lie, darling dears. But you'll be able to move on from that. You've gone from the 8, so 9 to the 8, darling dears. The final countdown. Yeah, something is most definitely going to be revealed, darling dears, whether in the work or in your personal life. But you'll be able to get back on top of this in the name of the Most High, darling dears. And we see the Knight of Pentacles, which is the slowest moving knight in the deck, on his forehead, darling dears. On his forehead. This person or people are what? Narcissistic, darling dears. Yeah, extremely irresponsible. They lack common sense, a superpower amongst you, my big cat fire signs. The this and the that, darling dears. They're whoever these people are, they're definitely obsessed with you. Pentacles can represent online, darling dears. These are the secret watchers, the mouth breathers. As I said, they're going to be embarrassed for what they tried to do to you, darling dears. Yeah, because you're still going to come out on top. Whether you're male or female, Queen of Pentacles, they're going to miss the advice you used to bring to the table. For in a family situation, you was the rock, darling dears. They tried to mess with the rock. And what did the rock do? You ran away like Tinky Winky. Yeah, strength card. Somebody definitely wants to argue with you over something, darling dears. Or bring up something that was not favorable for you, darling dears. But you'll be able to come out on top. You will use their words against them. Look, the card fell over and now it's in the upright. Strength card, energy of the 8. As we began the read, so shall we finish the read, darling dears. How dare they? They dare. They're bold. Let's get one final card. Then we're out of here to get great. Final message for the fire signs. Okay. We've got what? It's in Pisces. We've got sexuality to ultimately experience, trust in your psychic knowledge over certain situation, resulting from the indecision or about. Did you understand that, bestie? Good golly and gosh, it had me grasping at straws. I nearly let go of them, darling dears. So it's telling you to trust in some kind of sexual experience, or maybe your experience of that sexual experience. It's about you trusting in your psychic knowledge, right? And whatever indecision you had, darling dears, this reading should have cleared it up for you. 100%. On that note, I drops me mic. So love to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat, 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 cat.